Sexual abuse of young boys have been going on for so many years, and it saddens my heart that it is a topic that we rarely discuss. I cannot count how many men that I have met and spoken to that tell me that their introduction into sex or into their sexuality started from when they were young boys and they were introduced into it by an older woman or a caregiver, a maid that was meant to just care for them, someone that they trusted to do the right thing but took advantage of their innocence. Today is International Men's Day, and I just wanted to use this opportunity to get all the men that act as role models for young men in our society to lend their voice to this issue, to talk about how we can protect the boy. And I'm really grateful to all the young men that have come out and have lended their voice on this topic. When we discuss sexual abuse, there are certain underlying issues that we don't bring up when we talk about it. In our society that's patriarchal, there's this idea that men love sex, men have this animalistic instinct. Women give sex to men and men take it. So when a young boy is given sex, let's use that word, it's something that is a status symbol that he's meant to be happy. He's meant to see it as him being a grown man now. When people have that warped perception of what sex is for men, we have a problem. So society downplays the impact of sexual abuse on young boys, because there's also this idea of real men don't get raped. You see a lot of young men who do not even believe that they were sexually violated. They cannot understand that they were victims of this kind of abuse. They insist that they were in control of everything that happened and they really wanted it, because if they didn't want it, why were they enjoying it? But the thing is that in reality, our body just responds to touch. If you're a young boy and a woman strokes your penis, you're going to get an erection and you're going to ejaculate. It has nothing to do with whether you're enjoying it or not. It's your body responding to touch. I've done a video on this. If you want to learn more, I'm going to put the link there. So even if you felt like you got a certain level of pleasure, it still doesn't mean that you were not violated as a young boy. And I know that some men who have been violated as young boys, it manifests in the way that they have their sexual experiences. They could grow up to be young men who are obsessed with sex and they don't even know why. They just feel like, oh, I like sex a lot. They don't know that it's because of what happened in their past. It's because they were introduced to sex at such an early age and in a way that wasn't healthy. The way they project that thing that happened in their past is done in an unhealthy way in adulthood. And there is one key aspect that I know that we don't talk about it. It's the aspect of tear. When we talk about sexual abuse with young girls, the first thing that a woman thinks about is, oh my god, it must have been so painful, because there's an element of tear, because the penis is going into the vagina and it's causing a bit of tear and there's blood. So that mental picture that we create in our mind regarding that sexual abuse between that man and that woman makes it difficult for us to look past it, because we cannot get over the pain of the tear that happened there. But when it comes to boys' sexual abuse, there isn't a pain, there isn't any tear. It just seems like the only thing there is pleasure, because there is no physical pain that comes with that abuse. So it's very easy for us to get over that because we don't think about it. But when a boy is being sexually assaulted by a man, now there is a physical pain there. There's a mental image, because there is a level of tear that happens when it's done through the anus. We as a society, we need to do away with only looking at sexual abuse from that aspect of tear, from the aspect of pain, because sexual abuse happens in a spectrum. Even if someone was not penetrated through the anus, even if the woman did not tell him to have sex with her, just touching his genitals or telling him to touch her inappropriately constitutes as sexual abuse, and that also has an impact on the young boy's health. And we need to talk about the law. The law doesn't recognize the fact that boys are victims of this crime as well. When you look at the Nigerian law regarding rape, it's often when a man forcefully on a girl, when a man forcefully on a woman. There is no law that accommodates boys who have been sexually assaulted, either as boys and also as men, because men are also abused even by women and men. This topic is one that is so dear to my heart, because I cannot understand why we have normalized this, why this ritual to adulthood, or the introduction to sex for boys should be done by a maid or should be done by an aunt. Why can't boys have sexual healthy experiences, maybe with their peers, and it's done in a time when they are ready to be introduced to that aspect of their life. If we don't tackle these issues when they are boys, if we don't protect the boy, it's much more difficult to fix the man. And this is not to justify anything that men do in our society, but we need to understand that there is a cycle. All of us should just come together and, shed light on this issue. We need to all fight for it. Men, talk to your sons. I know that women have been at the forefront of this fight, but I think enough is enough. Men need to come to the forefront and handle this issue. You need to speak to your sons, you need to speak to your brothers, you need to speak to the peers, speak to the young boys around you. Tell them that there are certain sexual experiences that are not healthy and acceptable, and the fact that it seems like it's cool because it seems like a status symbol doesn't make it appropriate. Fathers, please talk to your young boys. Tell them that they should be comfortable coming to talk to you about these issues. The issues around sex and sexuality is such a taboo in our country that it has given room for so many unhealthy and abusive practices to happen because it's so shrouded in secrecy. But the moment you begin to shed light on these issues, there is nowhere for people to hide anymore. I know there's so many men who were abused and violated as young boys. You owe it to your younger self to fight for that young boy who's going through the same experiences that you did, that you absolutely hated. I hope this conversation leads to more change in our society and it creates a ripple effect. Thank you again. My name is Lolo Cynthia. Do not forget to like this video if you like, to share the video for other people to watch, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.